Today's podcast is sponsored by King's Cleaning Solutions. King's offers carpet cleaning, tile and grout cleaning, upholstery cleaning, natural stone maintenance, area rug cleaning, and hardwood floor cleaning in Kokomo and its surrounding areas. Contact them today for all of your cleaning needs.
Hey, welcome to another episode of The Lamp. I'm your host, Pat Munsey, publisher of the Kokomo Lantern, and today we're going to talk about Josiah Whites. And you may not have heard of Josiah Whites. Until, let's say, 6 months ago, really had not heard anything about them. But we're going to learn something today, and I have with me Michelle Jackson. She is a foster care coordinator. Advocate. Mm-hmm. So, I just asked her off camera like 10 seconds ago. That's the steel trap mind that you're dealing with today. So anyway, she is, again, a foster care advocate with Josiah Whites. Thank you for joining me. And
sure, thanks for having me.
I'm going to mess up enough so that you feel very comfortable.
Wonderful.
She was a little concerned because I didn't tell her that this would be a video podcast until just before she walked in the room. So she's been cursing me under her breath for a good half hour, I'm guessing. But I survived. So here we are. So, Michelle, thank you for joining me. And tell me a little bit about Josiah Whites, because if my viewers are like me, I had no clue what you guys do.
Sure. So Josiah Whites, our main campus is in Wabash, Indiana. We are a social services organization, and we were established in 1850 by Josiah White. He is our founder, and he came to Wabash, Indiana with a goal in mind of helping children and families in need. And over the years, it has developed into the program that we have today. So a little bit about Josiah Whites. We actually do a lot. I am with the foster care department, but on the main campus, and I'm saying main campus because Wabash is our main campus, and then we also have 5 other offices in the state of Indiana. So we are in Fort Wayne, South Bend, Maryville, Indianapolis, Greenwood, so we're kind of not quite all over Indiana, but a good portion of it.
Northern half anyway.
And those offices are strictly for family services. So what that is foster care, and which we'll talk about here in a minute, and then family preservation, which I will explain what that is as well.
Sure.
So, but Wabash has our main campus. And so we do have foster care and we do have family preservation. We also have our residential program. So we have, I'm not sure how many homes we have, but we serve teenagers, both boys and girls, that have gotten in trouble in some way or another, whether it be drugs or probation, truancy, any of those kinds of things. So those kids are sent to one of our homes to help get some therapy and to get the healing that they need. So all of those homes are on our Wabash campus. And then also on the campus, my favorite part is called 50 East. And so 50 East is a coffee shop and cafe. And then we also have a garden center. And we this is a really cool, I never knew about this, but we grow our own lettuce from water towers. I don't know, hydroponic.
Okay.
Yes. And we have one of the largest plants in Indiana right now, apparently. That's what I was just told. So
you make huge cabbages.
Lettuce. Yes. And so all of that lettuce is actually used, so we sell it there in the garden shop. Our cafe uses it. They make amazing salads there, so they use that. And then it's also used in our cafeterias to serve all of the kids and the families that live on campus. So that's pretty fun. But the really cool thing about 50 East and the Garden Center is that we actually hire the kids in the residential programs to help work with the staff, and we teach them all of their job skills. They get certifications and licenses throughout all of those things. and then they earn money that they can spend in their shops and stuff as well. So it's just a really good program, because then when the kids leave our program, they leave with extra skills that they didn't have coming in. So we try to set them up for success for when they leave. So that's just super fun. Plus it's really good food.
Sure.
And it's
So
coffee.
how does that interact with the foster portion of this?
So it doesn't.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Thank you for joining us today.
No, so the foster care department, we are there. My main office is there at Wabash. We also have a small office here in Kokomo. And so the reason why I say it doesn't is because we serve different families and different children.
Okay.
So those kids don't overlap. A lot of times people have that misconception that we then, the kids that are in the residential program then go into our foster homes, and that is not the case. So that's why it's that it doesn't. It's a different
Gotcha.
It's a different program that we do. So our foster care program, I don't know if I had mentioned this, Pat, or not, but we are a faith-based organization, and so my job as a foster care advocate is to go out into the community and also into churches and find families that feel led to foster and to open their homes and just help kids and families in need, while they're going through that time. And, we're trying to give them a safe place that they can heal, that the children can start their healing process while the families are also healing and doing the things that they need to do to be able to reconnect.
Sure.
Yes. So,
So how do you interact with DCS in that regard then?
Sure. So DCS, of course, is at the state level, and when calls come in, they go and do their investigations and whatnot. DCS is the organization that decides what needs to happen, along with courts, of course. They decide what needs to happen with that family. So if they decide that there is not an immediate need or a reason to remove the child, they try to keep that family intact. And so with that, they may still need some resources and some help, right? So that's where family preservation comes in.
Okay.
So we do have a family preservation department, and so DCS actually contracts with us. We go in then and provide kind of casework management, and we help them find the resources that they need and get them going in the right direction, because the goal is always to reunify the family. So that's what family preservation is. And then going back, if DCS and the courts were to decide that that home is not a safe situation at that moment, that the child needed to be removed, then that's when the child would go into foster care. So we are considered an LCPA, which is a licensed child placing agency. So we do we license all of our foster homes. And so we have homes that are waiting for children, so that if DCS doesn't have a home and needs a home, then they call us.
Gotcha.
And see if we have an appropriate home that would meet the needs of that child. So that's how we work together,
Sure.
if that makes sense. The nice thing about Josiah Whites is that we then offer, like with our foster families, we offer an extra level of support then to be able to, we help advocate for the foster family, and we just add an extra level of support. We have what's called family teaching model. We are licensed, I believe we're the only LCPA in Indiana actually that is licensed as a family teaching model agency. And so what that is, it's just a way that we work with the children. Every child that comes into our care, whether it's residential or foster care, we want them to leave better.
Sure.
Right? And so family teaching model, we train all of our foster parents in how to help teach these kids new skills. And so we have a slew of skills that we want to teach the children while they're in care, based on like even at infant level all the way on up to 18. And so so we work through each of those, as many as we can, while the child is within our foster homes.
Sounds a lot better than what you see on TV or in the movies, where they just throw a check at a family and throw the kid, and there's no support. And I mean, Hollywood does a really bad job of giving a good picture of the whole foster care system.
Right.
I'm assuming that works against you finding foster parents, and I'm assuming that the need is large.
So yes.
Okay.
Since I have been in this job, I've been here for about 1.5 years, and I have found there's a lot of misconceptions about foster care, what foster care truly is, and how it works. And that's part of my job also, is to try to break those misconceptions. My husband and I were foster parents for 13 years, so we have lived it, breathed it. We have 5 adopted children, and so we're still, even though our children are adopted, we're still living that every day. And so, there's the movie Sound of Hope just came out last week. And so I still looked. It is still playing in the Kokomo AMC. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest that.
Sound of Hope.
The Sound of Hope. It's from Angel Studios. So it's like the second of Sound of Freedom came out last July 4th. So this is like a follow-up. But it's actually about foster care. And I will tell you, it is the most accurate depiction of foster care to date that any Hollywood studio has ever made. And it's a hard watch. I will say it's not for children because it is very, very real. And so you see a lot of things, and you actually do see how difficult foster care can be, because we don't want to cherry coat it. It's a difficult thing. However, we try to help support you and guide you, and we're right there along with you every step of the way, and that's our goal. And so, that's why we really look for people that feel called into this ministry, because that's what we believe this is a ministry. And so Sound of Hope was just a very, very good and accurate picture of that. So I do encourage, I don't know how much longer it'll be at the movies, but I do encourage people to see that. Because that is a good, accurate picture. And it's also, the other thing that I like about it is because my other part of my job is to work with churches and encourage churches to be able to engage within the foster care realm, whatever that may look like for them. Whether that's to support, there's one local church in Kokomo that does bags, and they provide bags for foster care coming in, and they load them up with everything that a child's going to need for your first couple of days. Sure. Right? A couple outfits, your hygiene things, pillows, blankets, those kinds of things. And, so there's that. And then there's also Care Portal that just started and launched in Howard County. In that, I would highly suggest that is for churches, and even businesses can join in on that. Hands of Hope is actually organizing that, but that's another way that you can engage within the foster care community, specifically more in the family preservation side of things. And so when there's a family in need, DCS inputs it into a portal, and the churches and the organizations that have signed up to help then receive an email of the need, and then they provide whatever that need is. So that's something really cool that just launched in Howard County a couple of months ago. So that's called Care Portal. So I'm trying to forget.
If people want more information about Josiah Whites and the work that they're doing in Howard County specifically, where do they go to get that information?
So we do have a website, and I wrote it down because I knew I would forget it.
I'm not going to remember.
It's josiahwhites.org. So let me spell it for you. It's JOSIAH Whites, WHITES.org, and then it's a backspace, I think, right? A backslash, and then the word foster, FOSTER. So that tells you about our program, not specifically Howard County. I myself, I'm actually over 7 different counties. So I am heavily involved within Howard County, but I am as well for all of my other counties. So that's just our website. But also, I do encourage you can get on the website, and there is, I can never say this word right, an inquiry or
inquiry.
Thank you. There is one of those cards there that if you just have any questions, you're not committing or signing up to anything. If you have any questions, you can put in your information, and then Julia, who is our RFD, she's the one that works with families and gets them licensed. She will reach out to you and just answer any questions you have about foster care, what it looks like, what it would look like for you to get involved,
sure.
Or anything like that. But yeah, one other thing, Pat. So you had mentioned that you're sure, that there was a need in Howard County.
Oh, yeah.
So so right before we met, I looked up. DCS tracks all of that every month. And so I looked up. Now they always work a month behind, so I was able to pull June's numbers. And I believe in June, well, I don't want to say this number because I will probably get it wrong. There was over 100 children in foster placement, but I had looked to see right now Howard County in June at least had to send 55% of the number of children out of the county for homes. So I always look at that because that's just a sad number. And I will tell you, when I started really working in Howard County, they were at about 48%. So
it's better. No, it's worse.
No, it's worse.
I'm sorry, 48.
Yeah. So right now is a little bit worse because 55% of the kids have had to leave county. Now, some of that is for very valid reasons because. DCS likes to keep the children within families if they can. So there may be a relative that lives outside of the county, and that would be the best move for them, right? So that would be a very appropriate reason to send a child out of Howard County. But a lot of times that's not the reason. A lot of times it's because there just aren't any homes available within that county. And so that's kind of my job, is to try to find more homes in Howard County. So that more children can stay within the county.
We need foster families in Howard County.
Yeah.
So I'm going to challenge you guys that are watching this right now. If just one of you will give a call to Josiah Whites and say, look, I at least want more information on what it takes to be a foster family, I will take that as a success. But they're still new to you. You're not familiar with them. You are going to get to see them in Howard County very soon, however, as Josiah Whites is a major sponsor, contributor, and participant in the Mighty Noise Music Festival and Revival that will take place August 2nd through 4th at the Howard County 4-H Fairgrounds. Can you tell me a little bit about what Josiah Whites is going to do at that event?
Sure. So we are in charge of the Family Fun Zone. So I'm super excited about that. We are bringing the fun to the Mighty Noise. Not that the Mighty Noise is not going to be fun. It will all around, but specifically for children and families. We have Miss Kate, who is a musician and puppeteer. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
She's going to be performing for us. We have a petting zoo coming. Child Evangelism Fellowship is doing a couple different, I don't want to call them shows, but a couple different breakouts, should we call them?
Okay.
Maybe.
Kind of
and what else?
events type thing?
Yeah. And then we have a bunch of inflatable games. There is I'm excited. There is a 12-foot soccer dartboard coming that kids just will pummel the soccer ball to it. It gets stuck to it. I haven't figured out how we get them down yet, but I'm sure there's a way.
You throw the kid after them.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Pat, but
no. Okay.
No. But that's fun. There's an inflatable axe throwing.
You throw
game.
the axes at the balls to knock them down.
No, it's different, Pat. Yeah, and so I'm still working on other things that we're going to be having there, but it's just going to be a super fun time. And Josiah Whites is happy to be able to participate in this event. So
Absolutely.
We're looking forward to it.
There's one other little wrinkle for Josiah Whites at the Mighty Noise Festival, and that is that on Saturday evening, our featured act is Fort Wayne-based music artist Billy Ballinger. He and his wife both will be performing and talking during the event, but they are both Josiah White's alumni?
Yeah, I guess that's how you word it. Yeah, both Billy and Jody actually were teenagers that lived in our residential program a while back. I believe they met each other there, and then when they both graduated the program, they continued their relationship, and they have quite a story to share. I don't want to ruin it, but it will be an amazing night, Saturday night, for Billy to be singing and hearing his story, and then Sunday, Jody is speaking. That is
It'll be
1 to 4.
1 and 4, yes.
Between 1 and 4, Jody is speaking about her life, and
You won't want to miss that.
no, it's so good.
Harrowing, but good.
Yeah. So we're really looking forward to hearing from them, and yeah, it's really cool to know that we as in Josiah White played a part in their life, and yeah, that we had some influence on them. So
you'll be able to experience that. You'll be able to experience some of their outreach there at the festival, and of course, there's plenty of information that's been presented to you here that this is an important and urgent need in the community. Mm-hmm. We're looking for people who have a heart for children, who'd be willing to take on this task and be a part of a solution for a child. So, Michelle, I want to thank you for joining us today. I hope everyone found this informative and enjoyable, and I hope we'll see you on August 2nd through 4th at a Mighty Noise. Again, thanks for tuning in. My name is Pat Munsey with the Kokomo Lantern. You've been watching The Lamp. Please be good to each other.